What is up, everybody? You are tuned in to Women's Wrestling Talk, and this is the New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence post show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That is right. You heard it here first. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling talk show on the planet. And of course, if you see me, you see my tag partner, Drian Santana, the EIC of WWT. But we are not alone tonight. It is a full house. 5 at that. We have our new host here. We have some of our hosts from Women's Wrestling Army, and of course, our host from AEW. So, starting with Aisha, introduce yourself, and then we'll end with Lyric, and then we'll start the show.
Hey, it's Aisha at Aisha Watches, and I am one half of your Women's Wrestling Army after show team. What's up? Al?
You guys know where to find me. Al, Dynamite. Sorry, my internet's weird. If it's weird, I'm sorry. Dynamite on Wednesdays, Ring of Honor on Thursdays. I know we've been slacking. Anyways, intern Book of Glam.
Yes. And then Lyric, we have our new. Oh, you went on mute.
Hi, I'm Lyric. You can follow me on Twitter at Lyric Wrestling. And I am a writer for Women's Wrestling Talk, and I typically do Joshi Puro content.
Yes, and Lyric, is this your first Lyric? This your first show? No, you've done Women's Wrestling Army. Yeah, you've done Women's Wrestling. Yes, Lyric is one of our new hosts, and she's going to be holding it down with us. So we can't wait to see what she's going to bring, and I hope you guys tune in to see what she has to say, because when you see the Salt Shakers, now we're going to be giving it, honey. But we start off tonight, of course, with our kickoff first match. The DKC taking on Bateman, and of course DKC getting the victory here. No surprise, he's up and coming, doing his thing, and really trying to make his mark in a place like New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. We move on to the second match of the kickoff. Of course, Alex Coughlin defeating Christopher Daniels. Thank God. Any thoughts on this match or these first two matches here for the kickoff?
Sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know a ton about Alex Coughlin. I've seen him maybe wrestle once before, but I always like what I see. And so, congrats to him. And like I said before we started, Christopher Daniels, he just looked extra tan today. I don't know if it was the lighting in there, but I was like, you look much tanner than you do when you step out on AEW. That's it.
I really like this match. I think that Alex Coughlin, this was a great match for him before that big Shibata match is coming up this week for the ROH Pure title. So this was a great warm-up match for that. So I'm excited.
Yes, and make sure you check out our ROH post show every Thursday with Al and Mika, and you may see some run-ins. So
listen, we love a run-in. We may not have a show this week. We'll be in Vegas. Just keep an eye out. Just keep an eye out. But watch Ring of Honor, please.
A lot of wrestling this week too. We'll have the whole lineup of what we'll be doing. You'll get a post show from Impact, WWE, and then possibly AEW. So make sure you check that out. But of course, we get to the first match of the night, and I know Santana cannot wait to talk about this. Even though they didn't get the victory, Zack Sabre Jr. Now, if you know anything about New Japan Pro Wrestling and anything about professional wrestling, Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the greatest in the world. We just watched his match with Cody Rhodes the other night, and just a phenomenal match. He teamed up with Bad Dude Tito, of course, taking on Virus. And I can't pronounce the other man's name, but Barbaro, I think.
Good job.
Honey, I'm gonna be like Webby tonight, honey. They got some names over here.
They definitely do. For me wise, like anybody knows, I am obsessed with Zack. I hate that he dyed his hair that beach yellow, brassy blonde, but I think it really goes along with his character. Yeah. I think he's absolutely amazing in the ring. The pose that him and Bad Tito did together by the ring pose with like it made me feel so happy because anytime Zack comes on my screen, I light up. So I know when he have his match with Samoa Joe, I'm going to be torn between the two because I love Samoa Joe and I love Zack. So like, but I know for a fact these are two assholes are going to be in a ring with each other when that happens, and I already know there's going to be a lot of shit talking. So I'm here for it. I definitely am. But nonetheless, I thought they was going to win. I really was hoping for it, but it really shocked me that the guy Tito tapped out. Yes. You know, I was like, dang,
crazy.
That snapback was real quick, and he tapped instantly. So now I got a problem with you, Tito, because you make me lose. We don't do that around here.
Okay. We play fair, but yes, Zack Sabre Jr. You know, they couldn't get the victory, but still, you know, great match. But of course, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet, and y'all know why we're here, honey. The first ever tournament for the first ever strong women's championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is a big deal. This is a big moment. We had 4 women competing for their chance to hold that championship for the first time. Now, before we get into that finals main event, of course, we have Mercedes Moné taking on Stephanie Vaquer, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Vaquer? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Listen, I can't pronounce your last name, Stephanie, but let me tell you something, girl. You can wrestle. Okay? Yeah. Bookers, if you're looking for somebody, PW Revolver, XPW, GCW, girl, I don't give a damn. The girl was wrestling. The girl was wrestling. And she was doing her thing. Any thoughts on this match? Of course, Mercedes picking up the victory here.
I just thought it was great. Like I don't know much about Stephanie, but now I'm like, okay, great. Now this is my chance to like dig in. She did not come to play. She did not. It was really, really good, and I thought that they were really well matched. So I mean, I'm happy with it. Happy with the results of it. But at the same time, I was like, well, Stephanie, you got a new fan.
Okay. And this is an honorary video sent in by our good friend Jamari, the Jamari sometimes. I know Santana. I'm just going to go ahead and play it.
Money.
Listen, we love to see it.
I can't breathe.
It's. I mean, one time for money, right? But yes, great match. Her and Stephanie have great chemistry. One thing that I really loved about the women's matches specifically is you felt the strong in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You felt the hard hitting. You felt the strong style, but you also feel the strong tenacity of every woman, the agility of every woman that graced that ring today. And I think that Mercedes picking up this victory was very important, but it doesn't take away what Stephanie brought to a lot of fans who've never seen her before. And I think Booker's definitely, they need to book her.
Yeah, heading into this match, I did watch a few of Stephanie's matches to try to get a feel for her, but this definitely was beyond anything that I could have found on the internet. I think that she stepped her game up to a whole different level. She was the first South American woman today to compete in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is a huge deal. And also, I think for Mercedes, we saw that Lucha Libre training show today. Like, we know that she's been doing a lot of training, like, you know, in both Mexico and Puerto Rico. But this is that match where we got to see a lot of that Lucha Libre training shine. And she fit right in against an accomplished and experienced luchadora like Stephanie, which is very, very, I think, great to say that she doesn't typically get to wrestle that style. So kudos to both women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was Stephanie's like moment. She was like,
yeah,
like it was about Mercedes, but this felt like this is Stephanie's like, here I am coming out party to more mainstream. Because I was like, I don't know her, but I want to know her. When this was announced, I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know. And to be, you know, South American and have that lucha libre, be big in Mexico. I think it's good for the culture. I think it's good for the, you know, representation. And it felt like I said, like her coming out party, because everybody was like, great, Mercedes won, but I want to know about Stephanie. So she didn't lose.
I agree. She definitely did. But shout out to Mercedes wearing her cousin Snoop Dogg on her gear. You know what I'm saying? Incorporating the colors. If you know, you know. Just saying. So
okay.
It was cute.
It was. And then of course we move on to the women and we continue with the women. We had Momo taking on Willow Nightingale, who I was not familiar with Momo either. Willow, I've seen her pretty much dominate any industry, any promotion she's been in. One of my favorite matches is when she took on Deonna Purrazzo during her Champ Challenge, and I really think she made me. I know she was the baby face, but she was so close to beating Deonna that I was literally about to like piss my pants. I was like, if this woman beats her, like I'm gonna go nuts. And then she's had some good showings in ROH and AEW as well, and also on the Indies. She's been killing it. Their match, stellar performance from both of these women. Great chemistry. We really got to see in this match a very different size difference, but we see them still be able to keep up with one another and keep up with the ring ability. There were really not any moments where I felt like it was one-sided. So there were moments where I thought Willow was going to win, but then I was like, well, Momo's been really just going crazy. Like literally there was a moment where Willow knocks her down and she just gets right back up. And I'm like, oh girl, like strong style. Yeah. And they absolutely killed it.
I think as a Stardom fan, like I didn't expect this from Momo. Like in Stardom, she's typically like the, how do I say it? Like the runt of the litter. She always loses. Typically doesn't get a lot of singles matches. She doesn't get to have a lot of, you know, strong performances. So this, and like right now, like in Stardom, she's having this like beef with Mariah May, who's been picking on her for like always losing. And she talked about in her pre-match interviews about how she wants to prove Mariah May wrong and like all these people wrong. And she did that. I've never seen Momo look this strong. I've never seen her have this type of performance. I've never seen her be this aggressive. And I've never really believed in her ability to win as much as I did in this match. And so obviously Willow's fantastic. Her best matchup until this point was the match versus Athena, in my opinion, but I think she surpassed that tonight. Just absolutely fantastic from both of them. They both went to a whole different level.
Absolutely.
Yes. And shout out to Ian for doing his Willow rap that we love to see every week on Ring of Honor. I was standing there like, do it, Ian, do it, rap it, do it. And he just, it brings me so much joy. Seeing Willow fills me with joy. Seeing Willow be a big, strong, beautiful angel always fills me with joy. But I'm not super familiar with Momo, so you were telling me she's an underdog? And I was like, oh, she might win? It was really cool, because I was like, okay, girl, I can see you winning. I could see either one of these two winning. And I was like, yep, I'm happy with this. But Willow picked up the win, and I was so happy. So good. She's just how is she getting better when she was already great? It's crazy.
Yeah. And then of course Willow, just like Mercedes, moves on, makes it to the final round in the main event of tonight. But before, of course, we move on to that, we were under the impression that we were done with women at this point. But during the match between Fred and Juice, I don't think anyone was expecting to see Toni Storm. Like in no
I
capacity.
thought about it. I was like, I might, but I didn't really think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I didn't think she was gonna come for real.
And as good as the match was, this was definitely the moment of the match for me. The match was great. A lot of gore. I mean, Fred and Juice were really like tearing each other to pieces. You would have thought they had been beefing since childbirth at this point. They literally were just going crazy. And then of course, with the help of Toni Storm, Juice ends up getting the victory. And this
iconic.
This is what we call goals. Okay.
Oh, like me and who?
Okay.
Literally, I tweeted that. I'm trying to be with somebody.
Like me and who?
You're making me like this, and I am a biggest Juice.
And you don't like Juice at all.
I hate this man, and I was like, goals.
Look at what a match can do.
God.
Change of heart a little bit.
Look, I don't like him, but I like this. I like them together. Them together is fire. Put this on my AEW. Give me more of this, because this. Yeah.
I think what I want is Toni versus Fred. Actually,
that's the one.
That's what I think I want.
Forbidden Doors. Right? Book it, Toni.
I think that's what I want to see. Because that hip attack she gave him, and she went in crazy hard. The sign might have said stop, but Toni didn't. So I'm just saying, I'm here for it.
And again, shout out to Ian on commentary because he said that kiss was not consensual. And I said, thank you, sir. Consent is important.
So you kiss that man's wife. What is wrong with you?
First of all, nobody likes that. Neither of you.
And sad news, Aussie Open member, I don't know his name. I'm not going to act like I do. Kyle
Fletcher.
Great. He decided that it was time for them to relinquish the championships. He, in my opinion, he took what was a meeting that could have been an email. Okay? All you had to do was come to the ring and lay the damn titles down and just go on about your business. We had other stuff to get to. You really could have been a backstage segment as well.
Okay.
Sorry for your loss at this moment, but we was trying to get to the synopsis, and you were really, your thesis was not at the beginning. That was the problem. The thesis of it was not at the beginning. All you had to do was just lay the damn title. I
didn't even know what he did, to be honest. I
didn't even know what he was talking about.
I thought he was doing like an intermission or something. You know, like he came out here to try to start beef with somebody.
I'm like, wait, I was like, oh, he relinquishing the titles. Okay, this makes sense because he has both of them. I'm sure they're going to be holding these titles down the road, but with any injury, y'all know, we have to, business is still business at the end of the day. But yes, this is, Mark is hurt.
Yeah, this was a big deal though. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nikki, did you hear the reaction for that when that music hit? Okay, the fire theme song
they're a big
hit.
deal over there.
They're a big deal. So this was like a big moment. Nikki's just a hater, and I love that.
No. They also have the titles both stateside and in Japan right now. Like they, in my opinion, they're the best tag team in the world right now. Like, I was heartbroken.
I started to mow my lawn.
Please. Listen, I know that they have a great buzz. When they spent their time in Impact, I was not as impressed. I think they're great, and I think that they put on some great matches, but I don't think that they are someone that I am just latched onto. They're not someone that when I first see them, I'm like, I have to follow their career. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what they're doing. Their time and Impact was just, it was sporadic also. So But they put on some good matches. They really did. They put on some good matches. But I do think that this could have just been one of those like backstage interviews. Hell, Emily was doing her thing all night. Emily could have just grabbed him. He could have just said his little piece, and then we could have just moved on because we had bigger fish to fry. Now say his name because I'm gonna butcher it. Hikuleo. Yeah, and bitch ass Kenta. Lord Jesus. I can't. Let me tell you. And then they gonna try to play the clip of when he beat Eddie. Let me tell you something, Kenta. You thought you got one over Eddie Edwards, baby. But let me tell you something. Bring that shit to Impact. Come on down to Philly, August the 20th. When we got Multiverse 2. Okay, Multiverse United 2 at that, Kenta. Since you want to be all big and bad and shit. And now, child, they were trying to kill each other. There was no remorse for neither one of these two men. They didn't care. They weren't even at this point trying to win the match. The win was not even in the vision.
Well, the ref was already gone at this point. He knocked the ref's like, bye.
Now that ref got rolled down the steps, honey.
Yeah. But of course, to no surprise, Pizza gonna find his way to the win somehow, child. But after the match, lo and behold, thank God it wasn't David Finlay, because that's who I thought it was gonna be. Honestly, that's who I thought it was gonna be. But of course, we see, girl.
This one I turned the show off. Actually,
no, this one I started preparing for my shower, honey.
For real. God, what is happening here, honey? Go shave your face. You look
like fresh out of jail, fresh out of Rikers. The man is fresh out of Rikers.
Brush your teeth.
The man is fresh out of Rikers.
He was in the hospital.
That look like a house to me.
Girl.
Yeah, he just got out of the hospital. That man had surgery.
He looked fine to me.
It's giving jail. It's giving jail. And it's okay.
Like, I know he's going after Kenta's title. That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's obvious.
I guess you gotta do something else. He's not. I mean, he doesn't do anything in AEW right now, right?
I can't wait.
Because he left.
I cannot wait for him to beat the hell. Oh, so he's in Ring of Honor like permanently?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait for him and Kenta to beat the hell out of each other.
I hope so.
I really do.
Maybe they both can go back to the hospital.
Bloop. And then Kenta really wasn't really feeling that. You know, Kenta had to say what he had to say, and eventually, at this point, it can go either way. I don't want to see Kenta lose his title to Eddie Kingston, but I don't want to see Kenta win the title. And then they're gonna find a way to throw David Finlay in there somehow, anyway.
Please leave him where he is.
Please, don't say that name.
I don't even know who that is.
Not this show where this man was not on. We don't need to hear.
He's a wannabe, to be honest.
Now, who else?
One thing Santana I agree on.
Now let's not forget because we do have Willow Nightingale coming up here. Let's not forget.
Add him to the pack too.
Mr. Stiff, with his partner Jon Moxley and Shota, of course, defeating, which is crazy as hell that I'm saying this because I did not think Okada and them were gonna lose, honestly. But I mean, you bring Jon Moxley, you gotta have him win, in my opinion. But of course, they took on the team and defeated the team of I always get this.
Tomohiro Ishii.
Yes, girl. Tongue twister. Rocky Romero and Okada. Girl, this is chaotic.
Moxley didn't bleed in this match, right?
Mm-hmm. He didn't bleed.
Because I had to make sure that I clean my contacts so I can know that there's no blood visualized anywhere. Because I thought as soon as he walked to the crowd, he was gonna be bleeding walking down.
Probably.
No. There's no.
I think Juice and Fred took the
blood for him.
Blood tonight. tonight.
Look at Mox and his sons.
Literally.
Moxley is so funny, dude. He's a GOAT. He's definitely a GOAT. I enjoy Moxley. I get to see him a lot on the PW Revolver promotion that travels through Iowa and Ohio. And now will be the Salt Shakers will be at PW Revolver first time ever Texas in July. So we're hoping that Moxley is on that show as well. You Willer's been on that show too, and I booed the hell out of him.
So does this set up Okada and Jon Moxley, right, for Forbidden Door too?
Yes, but also this match stems from the match that's going to be at Dominion. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be Ishii, Okada, and Tanahashi versus Jon Moxley, Shota Umino, and a partner of their choosing. So we still don't know that yet.
Dominion is when?
I think it's June
2 weeks.
4th. Yes, in 2 weeks. I know that.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be for the never 6-man openweight trios championships.
Crazy. Let me tell you something. If it weren't for Mercedes, honey, we wouldn't even be here. We move on to the men's match, of course, before we get to the main event. Santana, take it away with this name here, because you know I'm going to butcher it.
All I'm going to tell you is Tanahashi. That's what I'm going to tell you. Because I butcher his first name as well.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
There we go.
And that man.
And then, of course,
that guy.
Who I was very upset that I did not get to see him at the Multiverse United at the Globe Theater. Of course, he was supposed to be taking on Speedball, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that match was going to be top freaking tier. Speaking of Speedball, before we get into this match, of course, we do have an interview out. The Salt Shaker sat down with Speedball as he prepared for his junior competition in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So very exciting. We talked about Kenny King. We talked about a lot of things. So really good interview out now on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. But Will Ospreay does get the victory, becoming the number 1 contender. Any surprise? Did we think this is going to go another way? Or did it go the way we thought it would?
I did think that Ospreay was going to win, but I did think I wouldn't have been surprised if Tanahashi won, just because him and Kenny do have a history. He was Kenny's last match before Kenny left New Japan. And obviously Kenny lost that match. And so I do expect them to have a rematch at some point, but I just didn't know when. So
anybody else?
I'm just glad that bitch ass Don Callis didn't show up tonight. I would have been fighting.
Can you imagine if he showed up tonight?
Well, that man. Like, I wouldn't have been here. I would have been on my way to Long Beach. I would have been running.
Listen, it should have been QT. I remember that time QT popped up in that New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Al told me, she was like, I know you're the only person that's gonna give a damn about QT Marshall popping up in New Japan.
Literally.
Good times. But yes, Will Ospreay does move on as the number 1 contender. Now, before we get into, of course, the main event of tonight, we're going to take a quick commercial break here at Women's Wrestling Talk. Of course, the number 1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw post-show, WoW post-show, AEW Dynamite post-show, Women's Wrestling Army post-show, NXT post-show, Impact Wrestling post-show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post-show, On the Scroll, ROH post-show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number 1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Nice.
Nice.
Speaking of Dark Alice.
Oh, God. Okay, who's in the comments? Look at these people jinxing me in the comments, being like, "What I don't like this." Y'all in the comments are menaces with Don. Yeah.
That video was brought to you by Brother Isaiah.
Brother
Other.
Zay.
Listen, honey, we love that man. In our main event tonight, after qualifying in both of their respective matches, Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale meet for the first time. And this is the first time we see two black wrestlers main event a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view. The second time in the United States, we see two black women main event a major pay-per-view. And for Sasha Banks, known to many in the WWE, now Mercedes Moné, this is a big monumental moment for her. She is the first black woman to main event a WWE pay-per-view alongside Charlotte Flair for Hell in a Cell. She also main evented WrestleMania with Bianca Belair. She main evented NXT TakeOver with Bayley, and she's also been main eventing over here now with Willow. And that's not to take away from what Willow has created in this industry as well, being someone who has been very dominant as a babyface in this industry, competing for the ROH Women's Championship, the Knockouts World Championship, and other titles, and also being a prominent face in AEW. These women killed it tonight. They absolutely murdered the game.
We don't want to, Bosa, while I agree, we don't want to take away from the fact that it is very historic that two black women are doing this thing.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to note. And they did. They did. I feel like for me, this was Willow's best match. This is the best that I've ever seen her.
Yeah. I've never seen her put on a bad match. What I've seen from Willow is always consistent. This is something that when this tournament was brought to our attention, a lot of us, if not all of us, wanted to see these two women in the main event. So this was very partial to a lot of people on Twitter and fans really making this moment happen, because it could have went many different ways with the amazing two other competitors that were in this match too. But being able to have two black women in this match as well just really changes the marquee of where we are, not only in companies like WWE and AEW, but also outside of those companies, outside of the States. This is a New Japan Pro Wrestling event, and this is bigger than I think people really are going to be able to give it credit. And that's due to not being knowledgeable of the prestige of what's going on. And that's okay, because wrestling always moves, and it's always, people are going to be able to go back and look at this just like we go back and we look at Sasha versus Bianca, the same way we go back and we watch Sasha versus Bayley. And it's crazy because Mercedes has been involved in not only making history for women's wrestling, but she's made a lot of wrestling history. Now, I don't mean to play devil's advocate, but a lot of that history that she is in, for some reason, she sometimes and most times is not victorious. Doesn't take away from the moment. But in a lot of these cases, even tonight, Mercedes is unsuccessful. Now, Willow becomes the first ever New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. And that says a lot. And she had a lot to say after the match. Now, I know the match itself, absolutely undeniable. Great match of the night. These ladies have something that is needed in wrestling. What sucks is that it was a lot of chatter happening once Mercedes took a nasty plunge from the top rope. It has been speculated, and I say speculated because we still don't know. There hasn't been a statement as of now. There possibly will be a statement later if New Japan Pro Wrestling Twitter page hasn't already posted it. But it is rumored that Mercedes did injure herself during the match. We are not sure if that is the outcome and why the outcome went the way that it went. That's not to say Willow still could have won this match regardless of what the rumors say, regardless of what happened. I know a lot of people were expecting Mercedes to pick up the victory, obviously, but I think that this could have gone either way. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the match.
I think the match was great. I think Mercedes sold her ass off for Willow in this match. I think I've never seen Willow look so powerful. And honestly, I expected Willow to win, and I think that her winning was the right decision. I don't think that Mercedes needed to win. And also, it's also been speculated that she had only added a 1-match extension to her New Japan contract anyway. And so like I was expecting her to move on from New Japan for the time being anyway. After this match, like the speculation of injury is very unfortunate. And if she is hurt, I do hope that she recovers soon. But I do think that this is Willow's time. We've seen her lose a lot of important matches several times for the TBS championship. So also losing, that match to Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. She's been itching for gold for a while. And I know that she's been going to Japan on tours, getting herself ready to adapt to that style last fall. And so I think that this was her time, and I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great match. We don't know what could have been. We don't know if it was supposed to be longer. We don't know if she's actually we don't know what we don't know. We can just go off what we're seeing. I am so happy for Willow. Either way, we would have had a great champion and a great representation for the New Japan style in America and what they want for the women in America. And Willow is, like I said earlier, she's pure sunshine and rainbows, but she is so strong. She looked strong the entire night.
Yep.
I just had a feeling when she walked out in this gold fit, I was like, we do a gold, I feel it. I just feel it, you're like, we do turnbuckle glam. Your fashion is telling of the story. And I was like, okay, I see it. I see Mercedes in her Snow White. She's a Disney princess. I get it. But I just felt like, yeah, definitely Willow. And I think it's also unexpected because if Mercedes won, everyone would be like, of course she won, And Mercedes is also about building up the new generation and helping women. And she wants the spotlight. So she's using her spotlight as everybody's buying this. Everybody's eyes are, that crowd was all her. But she's like, look at them. Look at them. That was essentially what she did tonight, was like, look at them. This is it. This is the future. And I think that's the actual story. And I think Willow got to be in this main event and she killed it. And she looked like she belonged. She did that promo from her heart and the crowd was just like eating it up. So who knows what goes on with Mercedes? Maybe we get Forbidden Door. We get them for this title. This title is definitely getting challenged at Forbidden Door. If it's Mercedes, if she's injured, if she's healed, whatever, I'd like to see him go again. We don't know what's happening, but I'm very excited for Willow. Like, so happy. And that is this title is my new favorite title because it's so beautiful. It's feminine, but also strong, which is literally what they want. It's perfect. Obsessed. I'm done.
I'm just going to piggyback on what Lyric and Al said that, obviously we're all fans of Willow. Like, she's just been doing her thing, right? And again, like, this is the strongest that I think I have seen her. And yeah, I think that she's worked very long and hard for this. And yeah, and like you said, the speculation, we don't know. A lot of people are saying like the injury was Willow's fault. And I'm like, let's everybody calm down. So like there's lots of that too. So just be aware of that we don't know. Yes, Willow does have the yams. Yes, she has the yams. She is powerful. I don't know. I think that again, Forbidden Door, we'll see. We'll see at Forbidden Door. I'm really excited to see kind of where this leads. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't shocked. I did think they were gonna give it to Mercedes. I definitely thought. But it just goes to show that Mercedes is also bigger than any, in my opinion, any indies promotion title. She's bigger than a title. She's literally no one has had. She has a Michael Jackson effect in wrestling. And I say that meaning there were people that never watched New Japan Pro Wrestling and only pulled up for Mercedes. And when she left, they left. And that calls on the attention that she has outside of pro wrestling. She is the entity. Trinity has that same thing too. There were people literally tuning in now because of never watched Impact. The younger generation never watched TNA. There there are certain, and I say this, there are certain black women in this industry that are bigger than even holding a championship. So her even having this match with Willow is something that a couple years ago you would have never told me that Mercedes would step into the ring with Willow Nightingale, or Trinity would be stepping in the ring with Kylan King, and now Giselle Shaw in just a couple weeks. So it really brings a light to women like a Kylan King and Willow Nightingale and Giselle Shaw, who are getting these legendary matches so vital to what we're trying to do with the progression of women's wrestling on all platforms. Santana, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
I think everybody should just wish Mercedes a speedy recovery, whatever it is that's going on, and more so, just let's stop focusing on the injury and focus on the match itself. Mm-hmm. That's really the main thing. Is you saw how the crowd was when these women were standing in between this title. Like, it's history making in so many different ways, and I think that this is exactly what Mercedes wanted to build a women's division over in New Japan that never had a women's division at all whatsoever. Maybe ins and out or whatever, but like not at all. So I just say that with Willow, it's her time, it's her moment. She's worked hard for this. She's proven in any promotion that she stepped into that she is that girl. And Mercedes is Mercedes, along with her name itself. You cannot take away the credibility that she's had, whatever moniker of name she had before. You can't take that away, and don't allow anything that transpired tonight with the injury or whatever to make you feel like you need to discredit Willow for putting on an amazing match with Mercedes. Willow is young. She's up and coming to a lot of people who's not familiarized with her. This is a great moment for her. She definitely deserved it, and whoever won, either or Mercedes or Willow, both of these women put on a killer match tonight.
They did. And two killer matches apiece.
Yeah, at that. Back-to-back outfit changes. Oh. Hello. Different feel for championship opportunities.
Yes. Loved it. Absolutely. Well, in honor of Mercedes, of course, you know what's going on. I can't wait. I hope this is something that doesn't keep her out, because I absolutely love that girl. Is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I need her and Deanna. Ugh, I need it. I just need it. But starting with Aisha, and then of course we'll end with Santana. We'll go in a little zigzag. Let everyone know where they can find you, what show you're on, and how they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at Aisha Watches. I tweet about random stuff and also stuff that I'm watching. You can also find me on Thursdays along with Shay and Lyric, who's going to be joining us next week, Women's Wrestling Army After Show. And that's that. Yeah, Al.
Yeah, you guys know where to find me. Al, 2 underscores. We'll see you Wednesday with our Double or Nothing predictions. It's already here, guys. The Dynamite dolls will be in Vegas this week with Aisha, our honorary doll. So it's a big week, and I'm not prepared for this trip. So rip to me. But yeah, and then like I said, Thursday, maybe a Ring of Honor show, perhaps. I don't know, but definitely getting Dynamite this week. So that's it. Lyric.
Yep. Hi, you can find me at Lyric Wrestling on Twitter. And as Aisha said, I'll be on the Women's Wrestling Army post show starting next week on Thursdays.
Yes, make sure you check out all of our shows. And of course, you know, you've been rocking with the Salt Shakers. We are here tomorrow. It's going to be a very fun day. We have our predictions for not only Night of Champions after Monday Night Raw, but we will also be doing predictions for Battleground as well. Now, we don't get to do NXT, so we thought we'll give you a little bonus on Monday. So we'll run through Monday Night Raw. We have a lot going on with that. And then, of course, on Thursday night, end your night with the greatest, the best Impact Wrestling post show in the damn world. The first, the originals, of course, the Salt Shakers on our home turf, on our home brand. You know, we got a lot of shit to discuss, honey, because we have another prediction show for Under Siege. Ugh. Oh, I cannot wait. We have Giselle Shaw versus Trinity, y'all. Yes. And then, of course, Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace. If Jordynne Grace cannot defeat Deonna Purrazzo, let me tell you something. Jordynne Grace will never get a chance at that Knockouts World Champion. Never. As long as Deonna is champion. And I hope Deonna kicks her ass. We also have interviews out with Deonna, Trinity, Giselle, a couple other people that we've named, Jordan as well. And then, get this weekend is loaded, y'all. Loaded with the post shows. Friday, of course, we are doing just SmackDown moving forward. Of course, you can catch Rampage now on Wednesdays with the Dynamite Dolls. In June, you'll be able to catch. Oh, no.
No, I don't know if we're doing Rampage this week because we got double or nothing predictions. So,
okay. Well, you'll get Rampage for sure in June for Collision. Rampage, do not expect Rampage on Friday. Rampage Friday nights is just solely SmackDown now. And then, listen, it used to happen to me all the time, girl. It's Rhea Ripley. I'm telling you, it's Rhea Ripley. She does it all the time. Starting on Saturday, we will have the post show for Night of Champions. Make sure you check that out. The Salt Shakers will be here with some guests on Sunday. Okay, Sunday at 12 p.m. Central. That is 10 a.m. Pacific time. You will have a Under Siege Impact Wrestling post show. That Sunday night, you will have something. I'm missing something. I know.
Battleground?
NXT Battleground, and then possibly a Double or Nothing post show.
Yes.
Kind of up in the air with the Double or Nothing, but definitely you will have NXT Battleground for Sunday too. Since Double or Nothing and NXT are running at the same damn time, but NXT is going to end before Double or Nothing anyway.
Okay, NXT is definitely ending. I will still be in that building, and you're going to be talking about it.
It will be a possibility that we all will just come here for Double or Nothing and just crowd around and just talk about the women's matches and, you know, talk about the men's matches too. AEW Double or Nothing has a great card for the women. Ty is gonna be her. It is what it is. Jade, you've had a great run. It's been great. Ty,
Nikki, pop in. Feel free to pop in on Wednesday. Y'all are more than welcome to tell me your views.
My girl is coming. Listen, my girl was robbed last time. And then with Tony and Jamie Hayter, I don't even care who's the winner. I want y'all to know that those are two strong, heavy women, and they're going to go crazy. We also have Night of Champions matches for the women. At Battleground, we're going to be crowning a new NXT Women's Champion. Please let it be Tiffany Stratton or Cora Jade. Lord Jesus, not Roxanne Perez again. I can't take it. For Night of Champions, though, we do have Asuka facing Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship again. And then, for the Raw Women's Championship because they haven't swapped. And then Rhea will be defending her championship, I'm guessing, against Natalya. So it's a lot of women's matches. It's a lot of shit going on. I guarantee you Deonna and Jordan are going to be the match of the week. They have too much chemistry. It's just, they're going to go crazy. But make sure you continue to follow us here at Women's Wrestling Talk, of course, on the website, on all social media platforms. And of course, we will continue to be the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. And like our CEO would say, ciao.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.